Someone is a warrior. Somebody has been through the mill and come out victorious on the other side. And if you don't feel that way about yourself yet, you will. Energetically, you're in a different place, a different space. You're a survivor. Despite people's negative opinions about you, despite what you've been through personally in your life, you are a warrior. And this is the person that this reading is about. So let's call in spirit. Let's get this party started, warrior. Let's do it. Mm-mm. Spirit guides and angels of your what is light, thank you for being here in my spiritual space. Thank you for your beautiful energy, your love in my life, your protection. Thank you for giving me these gifts, my ancestors, my higher resident beings, for being here. Also for just the blessing of having this knowledge and having these gifts in my life. Thank you. Protect my viewers, protect me, and I thank you for all things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so let's do it. Let's get into it, warrior, because you've been there, you've done that, and you got the scars to prove it. And Spirit is saying this reading is for you. You over there, yeah, you. You know who you are. Let's ring in the gong. Let's clear out the energy for me, for you, for all of us, okay? And if you're sensitive to sound, lower your volume. In 3, 2, 1, go. Excellent. And I hope you're having an excellent day. Whether it's morning moon, or might. Regardless, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I thank you for being here. For my OGs, hearts and hugs, I thank you so much. And for those that are new, thank you for giving this reading a shot. I appreciate that. All right, Spirit, let's get the message out, please, for those that are looking to have closure in their life, for those that are looking for understanding of whatever situation, for the warrior that didn't understand why this happened. Honest echoes. Listen to the whispers of your heart, for you know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This is a person who's had many lifetimes, challenging lifetimes. Lifetimes where maybe you didn't come out a victor or a winner, but you came out of it. You're learning lessons, and as you stumble and fall, you're getting yourself back up, dusting it off, and you continue to plug in it. Keep moving. That's what Spirit's saying. Your soul is whispering to you. I feel like your ancestors are whispering to you. And also your higher being, your higher self, saying, keep going. You got this. We got this. You're never alone. You're never alone. You have a labyrinth, which is like when you go into those corn mazes and you have to, it's like a labyrinth. That's what they call it, like a corn maze. You have choices, many different ways in which you can go. There's success in many of those choices, many of those ways. Chart your, course through the perplexing labyrinth. Choices embracing each turn as part of your complex journey. Each of us has choices because the universe, God, the divine, whoever you want to name them, call them, whatever, he gives free will. So we can stay stuck if we choose to. We can repeat cycles if we want to, or we can move forward. But know that we have the choice. We're not puppets to the master, where we don't have any choices in the matter. We're just like controlled. We're not controlled. And I know other people think that way, and that's wrong. Our choices lead to our consequences. Every choice we make has a ripple effect in the water. As a rock does, when you throw it into the water, there's a ripple effect. And it affects not just ourselves, it affects others. So we always got to be aware of that. Everybody's like, I have the right. Yeah, you have the right. But then again, your choices also affect other people's lives. And maybe their rights too. Think about that. All right, we're not going to get into the whole political, religious, studio, whatever of all of that. But everybody has choices. True, we have the rights. But our rights can inflict on other people's rights too. We got to be aware of that. And maybe that's what's happened too. Your negative choices that maybe you weren't fully, like all in, created outcomes that you weren't happy with, and neither were the people in your life. Not that I'm pointing the blame or guilt. We all been there. We all done that. We also have to recognize our weaknesses. We have to recognize where our triggers are so that we don't repeat the same pattern over again with different scenarios, because we're always going to have to revisit. Even if we overcome a challenge, we're going to have to revisit a challenge just to make sure that we're not going to make that same mistake or negative outcome that we did the first time we made that choice. It's just life. We need to be tested. How can you be tested? How can you be sharpened unless you're tested, right? You have to do that. It's not a punishment. Karma, it doesn't have to always be a punishment. Karma can also be positive. And towers don't always have to be negative. The tower of power can give us the power to make better choices in the future. On your own, it's time to take some alone time so that you gain a new perspective. So maybe you've been surrounded by people. Holidays is kind of a hard time to be alone time, but you need to take time for yourself and not always be burnt out. Spirit's saying, and that's not something to feel guilty about. I know people will make you feel guilty if you want to have alone time, but you still, as a mommy, a daddy, a brother, a sister, you're somebody's friend, you need to take alone time. You have to be alone once in a while with your thoughts and your feelings so that you can reevaluate and also decompress. Going forward, don't dwell in the past, but focus on creating a brighter future. I feel like sometimes we do stay stuck in things because we don't want to make choices, or we feel like we're going to hurt somebody. We have these guilty conscience. But it's really a survival mechanism for us to put ourselves first. Because how can you save anybody else if you're drowning yourself? If you're suffering yourself? If you're in a mental conflict yourself? There's no way for you to actually help another person out when you think about it. So that's why Spirit's like, you need alone time to even... I feel like somebody's surrounded by people constantly on the regular, and it's like, it's something mentally that you need to take away, because really when you're around a lot of people, their energies are around you and you could absorb a lot of those energies. And how do you know that this is your own thought process, or whatever it is you're going through right now isn't somebody else's that's bleeding into you? Because that can happen, especially when you're an empath. You absorb. It's not just it bounces off. It doesn't bounce off. It absorbs. And you need to recognize, is it me or is it somebody else that I'm surrounded by, my family, my friends, whomever, and maybe it's their feelings and thoughts and not just my own. Divine timing is always at play. And your upward mobility, I feel like somebody might be looking for upward mobility in their life, really depends on where you are on your journey and if you're ready, willing, and able to receive it in the proper way. Because a lot of blessings are not for the person that you used to be, right? Because say you're a very giving person and you get these blessings, you're just going to just give it away to other people and never receive it yourself. You may be one of those givers. And now it's time for you to receive and not feel guilty about receiving. Because somebody has this guilt. I feel a lot of guilt about, if I think of myself first, that makes me selfish. Maybe you were raised that way to believe that kind of ideology, but that's not true. That's a perception. Maybe you were raised by your parents believing it's okay to be a little bit of me instead of we. Once in a while, can happen. You've got to have that balance. Somebody wants a reunion, a soul tie, a soulmate. There could be a reunion in your future that you would have been separated from. Maybe you had a connection with. Could have been a marriage for some of you. They want a union with you. It's a decision that you have to make. But also illusions. Don't get confused by maybe projections that this person is sending you, thoughts about them, synchronistic numbers. You might be seeing anniversaries, their birthday, numbers that your first date. You might be seeing that a lot, and it's a projection. It's a person that wants you to think of them, or they're thinking so heavily of you that it's kind of becoming like a synchronicity in your life that you're noticing those numbers. Yes, this is a past person that maybe you had some strife with, suffering. You went through some things with this person. And they want you to think about the good times. But really, retrospection is really to look at it from an outside source in a sense. Some people can see outside of a relationship easier than they can when they're in it, when they're in the thick of it. You need that separation from this person, the alone time to really decompress and recognize what it was the relationship was and what it actually wasn't. And see if that your choices are based on sentimentality or whether it's because of the fact that you really belong with this person. We have soul ties with people. It doesn't mean we need to end up and stay with these people, these persons, whatever. It really depends on if it's in a healthy space. If it's not, then you need to revisit that. If there's suffering here, which it seems like there's some sort of suffering from your past person, it's an illusion if you think that reunion is going to change something. There's Mars here. Passion, lust, anger, attraction, action. There's a lot of fire in this connection. There's a lot of fire, maybe even hot words said between the two of you. A lot of arguments, fighting that cause a lot of suffering, but not just for you, but for others around you, like if you had children. Fate and fortune. So the wheel of fortune could have moved you away from this person. That's why you're in separation. Kisses. This person wants to kiss you, but I feel like they want to kiss and make up, but they want to go back. Ace of Fire is here, a new beginning. He has a new start. They want a new start. They're desiring a new start. They're attracted to you. They're passionate towards you. Sun, there's a lot of fire. Look at this nostalgia. There's Ace of Fire, a new beginning. There's this attraction that they have towards you. They're only thinking about it. Sun is here, strength, fire. They're only thinking about the passionate times, the memories, the nostalgia. They're not thinking about all the fighting, the arguing, and the toxicity that was in the connection. This was an inner child wound that perhaps the two of you shared in common, that you both had maybe family members that fought, argued, and made up, stayed together. And maybe that's what they were saying, we should stay together. We've been together for so many years. I feel like you're healing something. You're healing an inner child wound that accepted those things. You're not accepting that anymore. This person's still stuck in the past. They're thinking about how they desire you, they miss you. There were so many memories, but they're not thinking about the negativity that the two of you had when you were in each other's company. They just want it back the way it used to be. And I feel like you're just not in that space anymore. You're not that same person anymore. They're not acknowledging that. They're still like in denial, I would say. They need to learn. Seven of Wands is here. Yeah, I feel like they want to build a bridge. They want to build a bridge and get out of the stuck energy with you. But I feel like there was a lot of conflict in this connection. Maybe even power struggle is what I'm hearing. A power struggle between the two of you. Like, who's going to run this town tonight type of scenario. They're very stubborn energy. Yeah, death is here. So there was an ending to this connection between the two of you because in Wands is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. A lot of fire, a lot of passion, a lot of arguing, a lot of fights, a lot of conflict. They could have come from a family like that and they thought it was a normal behavior. You could have too. Two of Wands. But you don't want to partner up with somebody that's just going to argue and fight. You want something that's more. You want something that's more. It doesn't even make sense, that English terms, but I'm not speaking, I don't know, in proper English right now. I apologize. You want more than just having somebody to say, I have somebody to go to holidays with. I have somebody to spend my life with. I want meaningful connection, not just fighting, arguing, and good sex. And I feel like you also have children or family that, other people in the mix that were affected by this toxic connection. Three of Pentacles, they're just thinking, I want to partner up with you. You could be wanting a new partnership with somebody else or starting a new partnership with somebody else, possibly an empress, somebody that's older than you. That's what it looks like here. Yeah, the Star. This is a wish fulfillment. They may not be your usual type, but I feel like they're the type that's going to show you a different side of life and not just that arguing, fighting, making up to break up type of thing. Three of Cups. You could be collaborating with this person. I feel like on a project or on something you're working on. The Sun is really reflecting on this connection that you wanted and that you're getting and you're receiving. You just got to receive it in the right way. I feel like maybe you feel guilty about it because there's a lot of guilt going on here. the sun is illuminating that this person could be the one. I feel like you don't want to have egg on your face. You don't want this to fail, and that's the trouble with it right now. Like, I don't know how to formulate a sentence right now. Something's like, I don't know. Maybe this is a person that doesn't formulate their words properly, but or say the right thing sometimes, and it gets you kind of pausing and pondering as to if it's the same person as the one you had before, but this is a different person. You're an empress, okay? So I feel like you have intuitive gifts. What you work on works out. And maybe that didn't happen in the past because you were stuck with a person that didn't have that mindset. Maybe a lack mentality, something they didn't have healed. You didn't have you were a different person back then. And I feel like with this separation, you're elevating. You're elevating. Yeah. Five of Pentacles is here. So this is the lack mentality that you had to deal with when with this person. Baby, now you've got your back turned and you're guarded against this person, but you're exposed. You feel like you're being exposed. Maybe somebody's trying to expose you. Like you're becoming more of your true authentic self with this new person and it's scaring you. Because this is Nine of Cups, babe. Yes, this is Nine of Cups. This is somebody that's going to be a wish fulfillment. This is somebody that's making your dreams come true. This is somebody that's being honest about how they feel about you. There's no games. There's no like back and forth. It's not like trying to control you like the past person. This is a person that wants to be a part of your life. This person is pouring a lot of cups into you, like pouring their love, their affection, their time, and you're not used to that. You're used to having to maybe chase or beg for it, or the silent treatment, you know what I mean, to get you to come around type of thing. Let's end it with a few cards here. You can't heal together if one of you is the reason the other needs healing. Amen. This past person is only looking at the positive 1717 because they don't want to lose your energy. They don't want to lose what they had with you, but you're not the same person as you was when you were taking their bullshit because you wanted to get along. You compromised so much of yourself for this person, and they didn't see the sacrifice. And now that you're pouring into yourself, they're trying to make you feel guilty and feel like you shouldn't, and shaming you. That's an inner child healing that you need to fix before you move forward. You know, and now you got this other person, and maybe this person, your past person, is making you feel guilty, or you're cheating on me, or you're trying to find somebody else, and what about me? What about our family? Trying to throw that guilt at you. Yes, and seeing if it sticks. It's a game. And you don't need to be playing that game anymore with this person. If they wanted to, period T. Love doesn't need decoding. If they're ghosting, breadcrumbing, or too busy, they're not your person. They're just a waste of perfectly good mascara. Bottom line. If you have to cry for a person, if you're going to show tears and emotions and beg this person for your time, your dime, or anything, what do you think you need to do? That's something that you need to work out on yourself. I can't tell you what to do. I can just read energy. You have to make the choices based on your own decision-making abilities. I can't make choices for anybody. I'm just giving advice. I mean, not advice. I'm just reading cards and energy. It's up to you to make those choices. But remember, every choice you make in that labyrinth, that journey called life, has a ripple effect, not just to you, but to others. And I'm not trying to throw guilt at you. I'm just telling you the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. Oh, sir. You wanted red flags, not a damn parade. 1 or 2 red flags is bad. A whole damn marching band of dysfunction, that's your cue to dip. Don't confuse attention with affection. Clowns honk too. Honk, honk. You're an empress. You know. Nobody needs to tell you. Yes. And here's the last one. If they only show affection after 2 drinks, congratulations. You're dating Jekyll and Vodka Hyde. Their sober self avoids eye contact, but suddenly they're a poet after a shot. Yeah, no. Intimacy shouldn't be on tap. Call a lift and call it off. So if all they're doing is drunk texting you, or when they're, when they're high on whatever, they're more affectionate and positive, then you need to Yeah. Leave their drunk ass where they stand and, yeah, get the hell out of Dodge. It seems to me there's a lot of toxic situations that went on between the two of you. And that's between you and that person and the divine. All I'm giving you is the cards, just the facts, ma'am, sir. You need to make the decision. You have walked away from the situation, but guilt is making you consider walking back. And Spirit is telling you straight out it's not going to change. But you make that choice, I can't for you. I thank you so much for joining me on Empress Aries 888. Please like and subscribe and join my tribe because I would love to have you as part of my soul family. And to my soul family, thank you so much for joining me. Hearts and hugs. I love you. And I'll see you on the next one. And until then, be safe. Be blessed.